Like I'm saying, you guys are going to have a lot of questions for me, so I'm not going to try to talk very long. I think it was last Wednesday, Wednesday before last. I spoke to a group of people, and I try not to talk very long, and they questioned me to death. and but this evening, I want to talk a little about living the abundant life. And for us to live the abundant life, we must follow the laws of health. So we have the moral laws. Anybody remember the moral laws? The Ten Commandments. We also got to have health laws for us to follow. And whenever we violate one of those laws, sickness will come. After sickness comes, guess what is next? The death. Remember, Adam and Eve sinned against God's law. Once they were in harmony with God's law, we would never taste death. Death only comes because of what? Sin. What the Bible said, the wages of sin is what? Is death. Well, guess what? That's happening in our bodies every day. When we violate these laws of health, sickness and death comes. And we know that the devil, he comes to what? And what does he use? He uses sickness. Okay, he used sickness. And we as Christians should be in forefront telling the world how to live a healthy life. Someone read Psalms 103, 1 to 5. I want you to read that for me this evening. Psalms 103, verses 1 through 5. Someone stand up and read that for me, please. Psalms 103, verses 1 through 5. Are you there? Take your Bibles out. God's word is still life. I always tell folks, I believe in natural medicine, but God does the healing. Always remember that. The Bible says right there. We'll find out. Anybody have it? Go ahead and read it. Yes, 103.
1 through 5.
1 through 5.
Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits, who forgiveth all things, who forgiveth all thine iniquities, who healeth all thy diseases, who redeemeth thy life from destruction, who crowneth thee with loving kindness and tender mercies, who satisfied thy mouth with good things, so that thy youth be renewed like the eagles.
That's correct. Do you know if you follow God's plan, he said you renew your life like a what? Like an eagle. Okay, like an eagle. You know, many years I decided to not eat. I'm a Bohemian from head to toe. Okay, I'm full Bohemian. But I decided not to eat like the Bohemians. You know why? The Bohemian food tastes good, but it's not healthy. It is not healthy. I've seen two things that have destroyed my people. Well, three. I'm going to say the food, the drugs, and what do you know the third one? Well, alcohol, that's part of food, you know. That's part of the drugs also. And I'm going to say some of the chemicals I find in the water around here. Do y'all understand that, right? Some of the chemical companies have also destroyed a lot of people's health in Grand Bahama. But tonight, I want you all to remember these laws of health. And if you ever get sick, go back and examine these laws. See if you're in violating any of these laws. And it's called New Start. What is it called? N is for what? Nutrition. He says new. All right, I'm a new man, so nutrition, okay? E is for what? Exercise. You must exercise daily. I'm enjoying being home. Every morning, me and my cousin Brennell's Wild Goose, we're walking that water, walking that beach. I'm enjoying that every morning. W is for water. Make sure the water is pure and clean. All right? T is for temperance. We must be temperate in all things. Even the good things can make you sick. Stay away from the bad things, but the good things, do not overdo it. S is for sunlight. We're finding that most black females are coming down with breast cancer because they're not getting enough what? Sunlight. I remember our forefathers were slaves, right? So they stayed out longer in the what? So they get more of the vitamin D from the sun. But today, our educated black women go to their jobs, nice job, their nice car, and back into the nice what? Homes. They're not getting enough vitamin D. So that breast cancer is caused from what? Lack of vitamin what? The vitamin D. So make sure you get that sunlight, okay? A is for air. Get some fresh air. I'm filling up my lungs every day in that ocean. You remember people who live by a body of ocean, the ions from the ocean, you live longer. Now, why are you not living longer and you get the best air? What happened? Why are you not living longer? Studies, research have shown over and over, people that live by the body of ocean water or salt water live longer. So we should be 110, 120 around here, right? And full of days, like the Bible said. That's correct. R is for rest. The body repairs itself between the hours of 8 and 12. If you go to bed after 12 o'clock, your body will not repair. Every night, the food you eat that day, when you go to bed, the body is using it by building it up and breaking it down. And then the next morning, when you get up, if it's after 12 o'clock, you feel very what? Tired. But also, if you eat the wrong foods, what happens to the next morning? You feel very what? Tired. You ever fasted and you get up in the morning early and feel very energetic, energized? Guess what? Because you don't have a lot of waste for the body to break down that night. And T, the last one, is for trust in God. The Bible just said, I am the Lord that does what? Healeth thee. I don't care what you do. If you don't trust God, you're still violating his laws of health because God does the healing. As I was working with my mom, a few weeks ago, my mother passed this tumor. Now, she'd been passing the tumors, and I saw a few of them. But that day, she passed a big one. You saw that, right? It's a large tumor. But that day, I give her a good bath, and I sit with her. I give her a cleanse, because every day, my wife and I have been tackling that tumor. Okay? And I'll tell you what we do if y'all want to try it, okay? Because behemoths are full of tumors. Guess what? Do you eat fish? Fish are tumors carriers. Do you eat chicken? Yes. When I was in school in Florida, my roommate, that's about 30-something years ago, I went to school in Florida. Let you know my age, right? I would call home and say, Mama, I found a big pack of chicken, only 49 cents. 59 cents. Was that cheap? That was very cheap. But you could see the tumors, you could see the cancer. And then my people start coming over there with their cruise ship called coolers. You ever hear about a cruise ship called coolers? These big coolers? That's why I call them cruise ship. And they will bring all that cheap what? Chicken and meat back to where? And you guys in your short pants and you're having your barbecue and you just eating that tumor. Oh, mercy. And right after that, cancer went on a rampage in the Bahamas, didn't it? Cancer went on the rampage in the Bahamas. Very rampant. Cancer started increasing. I had a lot of family members who died from cancer. A lot of behemoth friends that I knew died from cancer. So remember, most cancer come through the animal kingdom. Which come through? Not the plant kingdom. Let's turn to Genesis. Someone read Genesis 1, verse 29. Genesis 1, verse 29. Genesis 1, verse 29. Let's see what it says there.
God said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, in the which is the fruit of a tree, yielding seed, to you it should be for meat.
So our food should be what? fruits, what else? Vegetables, seeds. Most men who come out with prostate cancer, they don't have enough what? Seeds. And guess, and the seeds is very high in the calcium and the magnesium and your zinc. Well, most men that have prostate cancer is low in what? In the zinc. Okay? Now, the Bible said here that our food, it says every tree will be for what? For food. Okay? Now, in other words, we have to learn the different trees that is also for food. Now, repeat after me. God told the children of Israel, now listen to this, repeat after me. When you captured a city, do not cut down the tree. Because man's life is in a tree, not KFC. What is KFC? Don't forget that, okay? Don't forget that. Do not forget that. Please do not forget that. Now, tonight we're going to talk about diseases. All right? And I'm going to give you a little history on diseases. Disease meaning not to make you what? At ease. When you have a disease, you cannot be at what? You cannot be at ease. All right? Disease does not come without a cause. Don't forget that. And the reason why we are also sick, and I want the camera to hear this, we're going to a place where they do not study how to cure diseases. When we go to the doctors, doctors do not study how to cure diseases. They do not study cause to effect. They only study drugs and symptoms. What do they study? Okay, when you go to the doctor, he looks at the symptoms that you're having. Then he prescribes the drugs to you. Well, when those drugs begin to move through your body, they create other symptoms. And then once those other symptoms start happening or showing their faces, then he subscribes another drug to the first drug. So now you can end up with 17, 20 plus different what? Medications. Because that's all he's studying. Doctors do not study nutrition. Well, what heals our body? Nutrition. God give us food. He says that when he give you the tree and the seeds and the fruits, that come under nutrition. Okay? It comes under what? Nutrition. Don't forget that. When he put Adam and Eve in the garden, what did they do? To do what? To work. That came under what? Exercise. Do you understand that? He didn't put them in an office job. I'm sorry. He put them outside to do what? To keep the garden, to work. Yes. Now, I want to show y'all something here because we're going to talk about the digestive system. I've noticed in Freeport and also in America, it's hard to tell the difference between a pregnant woman and a man these days. Can you see this? Can you see that picture? Can you all see that? Who's pregnant? All three of them. One have a living baby and one is full of parasites. Full of parasites. And guess what? We have to evict them because they don't pay rent. They don't pay no food bill. But when you eat, man, they're eating too. That's why I told my mother, when I saw that tumor, I was praising the Lord, but I was mad. I said, get out here, macaroni and cheese. I said, get out here, crack conch. I said, fried chicken. That was a large tumor, right? But that's all I remember eating. Yeah. Fried chicken, that's correct. Let's talk about the digestive system. When we are born, we're born with something called enzymes. And children have a lot of enzymes. And we all born with a lot of enzymes. But when we begin to eat a lot of cooked foods, the enzymes are used to break down cooked foods. Cooked foods are killing more people today, especially the wives or women who love to cook. Start juicing for your husband. Change that heat to juice. Change that heat to what? To juice. Tell him you're gonna turn him back to a baby, okay? Give him some juice. Okay? When we eat so much cooked food, we cause the body to age faster. Because the body have to use more of its energy to break down those cooked foods. Let me give you an example. When you consume flesh or a piece of meat, it takes 48 hours to digest it. How long? And how many times do you eat it a day? Some people walk with food in their mouth, look like a cigarette. That's correct. Don't forget these three things. For us to have good health, three things always have to be present in our body. Oxygen was the first one. Water was the second one. And nutrition or nutrients was the third one. Nutrients. When you oxygize your cells, your body lives and you feel more energized. Once you smother those cells, you begin to feel sluggish, weak, and tired. Well, what caused that? Have you ever seen someone eat fried foods or fried chicken? Two things it does. It smothers, it causes the cells not to breathe. It puts oil over the cell. Remember, our cells breathe. Okay? The cells need oxygen, water, and nutrients. So it breathes. Anything with oxygen, it has to breathe, right? Okay. So when we eat all this greasy, fatty foods, we destroy the cells. And the second thing, you ever eat greasy food and you don't have to wear lip gloss? Why? Say it again. The fat is all over your what? So you can see it all over your lip. Think about your cells. So if we see when we eat these foods what it does to our cells, we will never put those things in our system. We will never put those things in our system. Okay? Another thing we need to look at, colon, the colon. The Bahamas and America now have a lot of high colon cancer. Actually, my mother was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, but what caused that was she had a cancerous tumor across the transverse of her colon. Well, that tumor feed the cancer into the blood. So the doctors seemed like they didn't pick up that tumor, but all they picked up was the cancer in the blood. Well, and that is correct, because when you go to the doctor, how do they examine you to find what's the problem? Through the what? Through the blood. Well, the Bible says the life of the flesh is in the blood. Okay? Even if you're going to be saved, we only can be saved through the what? Through the blood. So if we're having diseases and everything is in the blood, we need to go back to see where we get what blood is coming into our blood. Just like AIDS. I was telling a friend in 1996, my wife and I was in Abaco. And Abaco, man, they had a lot of AIDS over there. And NASA also had a lot of AIDS. I'm not sure Grand Bahama. Grand Bahama have any AIDS people? Well, we had a lot of good success with curing the AIDS virus when I was here in 1996. We used something called colloidal silver. You heard about that? Well, I made my own colloidal silver. Yes. And I used something, I'm going to tell you my little secret so somebody can get rich, but send me some money back, all right? Okay. I used the colloidal silver. I made my own, and I used the rain water. I use the rain what? The Bible says distilled water is what? Rain water. So I followed the Bible and I followed that and I made my own chloride of silver using what? Rainwater. And I give the AIDS patients 532 ounces and they have to drink it. They have to drink it all through the day. They have to drink it. And it was curing AIDS. And also I use 10 to 12 cloves of garlic. What did I use? That's correct. And I make them drink that. I would juice it. I juice the garlic. And I would make them drink it. Remember, garlic acts as an antibodies. So it looks for viruses and bacteria in your body. So if you have a lot of bacteria and viruses in your body, just cut up some fresh garlic and put it in your food. Don't cook it. Remember, when you cook the food, you do what? You destroy all the nutrients. So you ever smell your mama pot? That's you smell it? You smell the nutrients was leaving it. And we running for that food. So all we eating is dead food. When we eat dead food, it sticks around our colon walls, okay? And then we walk around like we what? Like we're pregnant. Okay? Now I bought something here tonight to show you what I use for I use this for folks who have the stroke. If you have stroke, or if you have like pain in your back, or if you have kidney stones, I use this brand of distilled water. I use the Crystal brand. There's all kinds of distilled water, but I use this brand. I had a friend or someone close to me call me this week. They have a lot of pain in their back. They have kidney stones. I put them on this and apple juice. Apple juice melt gallstones. What melt gallstones? Apple juice. I recommend the organic one because the non-organic have somewhat. That's correct. They have some acid in it, but they have some chemicals that you can't drink too much of. So I recommend the organic one. But I use this, and the reason why I use this one, distilled water takes the salt out of your cells. And the reason why you have high blood pressure, you have too much salt in your cells. And if too much salt in your cells, it will cause a stroke. And usually second, third stroke, usually take you out or cause a lot of damage. So I use this distilled water to take salt out of the cells and also to deal with the gallstones. All right. So you have a picture of this? Do I need to show this over here? Yeah. The camera? That's what I use. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Good. There's something here I use called red clover. This is growing around my yard. It's one of the best cancer fighters out there. I make my mama drink this like she was drinking vodka. This is growing right in my yard. This is called red clover. This balances women hormones. You ever have young girls who have terrible cycles? You put them on this, and I tell you, man, they will kiss you. They will kiss you. And thank you for putting them on this. This is called red clover. Also, I use this for throat. Like you have a lot of problem with you can't sing. This is very good for that. And I usually mix it with this thing called burdock root. Burdock root also, these are blood purifiers. They look for cancers in your body. And they have like a wrestling, it's like Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. This is Muhammad Ali, okay? All right, let's go and fight. This is another thing I use for prostate cancer. I use D3. You ever put D3? Cancer cannot survive in a D environment. And most male who have prostate problem is lacking the D vitamins. Also breast cancer, but I use D3. It's very good for cancer and also good for prostate cancer. Now, I notice everybody loves to take their vitamin C. That's correct? But if you use vitamin C, make sure it doesn't say ascorbic. Ascorbic is very acid in the inside. Actually, if you look at your foods, even your bad foods, right? Your junk food, they said ascorbic acid. They put it right on there, ascorbic acid. Well, they're killing you with ascorbic acid. That's vitamin C. Your vitamins should say ascorbate. Why? It's alkaline. And the body, cancer can't survive in an alkaline environment. So if you take in vitamin C, the research has been showing that vitamin C has been destroying cancer, but they didn't tell you which one. They didn't tell you which one. Make sure it says ascorbate. In order what? Okay, that's very important to remember. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you something tonight that I've been using to expel parasites. You saw that tumor that we take out of my mother? We use this product to get the tumor out. Today, I gave my mother this morning, so she's been feeling sick all day. Whenever I do two treatments I'm going to tell you about, I do this treatment, and I also use castor oil. You know castor oil? I use a castor oil pack. So I get a cloth, and I heat up the castor oil, and I put it over it, and I put it across that tumor. Castor oil shrink tumors. Don't forget it. If you know anyone that has brain tumor, make a castor oil pack, put around that brain, it shrinks the tumor. Anyone that have cyst fibroids, a lot of ladies have what? Fibroids problem. Castor oil pack across that fibroid, it shrinks it. Cyst in the breast, it shrinks it. Brain tumors, it shrinks it. Any tumors in the body, you make a castor oil pack, it's looking for it. You want to get flat belly? Ladies, you want to lose that? Castor oil pack. Castor oil pack. And you're castor oil. Any castor oil. You just castor oil. Remember, we have the castor oil tree. Remember back in the days, mom would take the leaves, heat it up, and put it on the boil. Y'all remember that? That's correct. So nothing changed. Okay? That's what I've been using to extract those tumors out of my mother. I would use that castor oil, it rinse and shrink, and it breaks it up, and this goes in and pull it out. This right here pulls it out. Okay? Now this is made by me and my wife. We make our own, because it's not only just for tumors. We try to take parasites. Well, we designed it to cleanse all the organs in the body. Don't forget, the organs need to be cleansed. It's 5, but I'm going to name 6. The liver, the lungs, the kidneys, the colon, the skin. I'm going to name one more, the lymphatic system. Once you keep those open or clean or clear, disease is half a disease to come into your body. But so we must always keep those eliminating organs open. And one thing I find that does a good job at all of them is warm water in the morning with fresh squeezed lemon. It flushes the whole body. Now, I've been adding turmeric to it. Reason, because a lot of times people are always talking about they have arthritis. I get my pain, this, and I can sing that song. Yeah. You know, can this old bone, walk again? Yes, it can. I use turmeric. Also, we use turmeric for our cancer patients. I use turmeric, baking soda, and distilled water. It keeps the system alkaline. What does that I use? Turmeric, baking soda, and distilled water. It keeps the system alkaline. Okay, and you want to do that. All right. Now, I want to give you 5 foods that is very good for getting inflammation out of the body. 5 foods, okay? Yes, 5 foods. Remember, your food should be your medicine, and not your medicine, your food, okay? So I don't see y'all popping drugs. I don't see that. Y'all can't talk about the drug user if you're popping them drugs, right? Okay. The first one I've used for getting rid of inflammation, I use beets. I use beets, fresh beets. Also, I use beets for melting gallstones. Yes, beet powder. Beet, you can use the fresh beets or you can use the powder for melting gallstones. I use it for gallstones. Okay? Beets are very important. Like if you're fainting, or if you're anemia, you need to get on some beets. It energizes you right away, and it also energizes your cells. The next thing I use pineapple. I love pineapple. It's good for singers. Very good for singers. Actually, I use for thyroid problem, I use parsley, fresh parsley, but I mix it with pineapple. Yes, I use fresh parsley with pineapple for thyroid problems. And we know a lot of ladies have thyroid issues. So I use that with fresh parsley. Also, I use ginger. Ginger is very good for the digestive system, but also it breaks up mucus in your body. Now, I know a lot of us like to eat. We love to eat our oats, right? You like oats in the morning? Huh? You used to? What oats look like when you take it out? It looks slimy. No, what else? It looks sticky. Oats doesn't look like snot. Come on now, doesn't it? Well, guess what that's doing in your system? The same thing. It's causing a lot of inflammation, high inflammation food. Yes, the best form of oats is in the granola form. You like granola? I wish I could bring something. My wife makes some. She sent it to me. Is it recording? I hide it from my sister. She ate it up the last time I bought some. But oats in the granola form is not very acid. But if it's not in the granola form, it's going to put a lot of mucus in your body, cause a lot of mucus. Now, also it's good for cholesterol. Very good for cholesterol. Oats are very good for cholesterol, but also it's high in mucus. So if you're going to eat it not in a small amount, but eat a lot of fruits with it. I recommend like blueberries with it, strawberries, grapes, stuff like that. Pineapple, with it. They are very good foods to eat. And one more I'm gonna share with you is I use turmeric. Again, we talk about turmeric. Turmeric is one of the best cancer fighters too. It's 10,000 times better than any chemo. Yes, 10,000 times. Now, research have shown that turmeric needs something to activate it. Now, some people use black pepper. I don't recommend black pepper. Black pepper cut your stomach lining. Okay? Also, black pepper is good for if you're, what'd you say? Pass gas? If your radiator busted, put the black pepper, it stops it, okay? Yes, you heard about that? Yes, that's correct. That's correct. And also the omega fatty acids. You can find them in your flax seeds, different seeds, high in your omega-3, and also the blueberries, strawberries, they also have those things. All right. Now, I'm going to stop and I want you to ask me the questions about any problem, any disease that somebody have, and things that I do. I keep it very simple. Doctor give you 20 different medicine, I give you only no more than 5, because the less herbs you use, the better it is. If you start using too much herbs, remember that the herbs are also chemicals. When you use too many herbs, okay, what happens? They undo each other, they have no more effect. So if you boiling 20, 13 different bushes, they have no effect. The small amount is better. Y'all understand that? A lot of times beamers love to boil a lot of bushes. No, remember they are chemicals. So all chemicals do not work together. That's like food. Certain foods are good for you, it's not good for me. Okay? Like the Asian, they could take certain beans, but we can't eat some of those beans It'll make you blow up this whole place. Right? That's great. It'll make you blow up this whole place, man. All right. Now, mother came to me a few months ago. My brother bought mom, and I thank God for him bringing her here, because mother wasn't going to live very long if she didn't come. She wouldn't have lived very long. She believed her mother's hard now. I would have lived like when we were coming in the ship, right? So anyway, we all that Steve, boy, if she could knock me out, she would wake me up and she eat all that junk food, man. I say, Mom, I will get your food. At the party, same thing. I said, Mom, we get the party. This is your birthday. She say, I'm gonna find something to eat. All that Bahamian food, but she done call all around her friends. And Betty, you bring your. I found a new secret in the Bahamas. They call it hush hush. Yeah, y'all keep it hush hush, okay? But don't eat hush hush. Yeah, don't eat hush hush. Yeah, I just found that since I came home. Y'all know about that? You don't know about it? But keep it hush hush then. Huh? Yeah, keep it hush hush. I just discovered that since I came home. Okay. Something I use for high blood pressure. You want to know? Exercise. I use exercise. But since you're here, you want to find some remedy. You see that young coconut water? It brings your pressure down. But if you take some fresh squeezed lemon and put it in that, it brings the pressure down immediately. It brings it down immediately. Also, if you boil some water, cut up some garlic and let it steep. After it comes to boil, put it in there, leave it. Let it steep 20 minutes. Longer is better. Put some cayenne in there and let the person drink it. It brings your blood pressure down immediately. I've used it to check relatives out of the hospital. I sneaked in the hospital because they couldn't come out. They said their pressure's so high. I use I boiled some water and I use fresh garlic and cayenne pepper. Okay, cayenne pepper also it's good for pressure, because it's good for circulation. And so I checked into the hospital. They were there for days. They can't get out. I went back. I said, what happened? They said the doctor won't release me because my pressure won't go down. I waited till after everybody was gone. I sneaked in there. I said, drink this. Next morning, she was out. She was out of the hospital, man. Yes. I'm sorry. I had to break that law, right? To keep her going, to keep her alive. Yes. So that's what I use. All right. Any question? I see the microphone. Any question?
How do you activate turmeric?
You can use cayenne. Yes. Ask the question again.
How do you activate turmeric?
You can use cayenne pepper to activate it, but if you don't like cayenne pepper, you can use coconut oil.
And can you use alkaline water instead of distilled water?
You can use alkaline water, but distilled water is better,
Thank you.
especially when you have a disease. And you can make your own alkaline water. They made that for you, right? You can make it yourself. You use lemon, or you can use baking soda. That's my secret. That's my secret. And it cures. I've seen it over and over. I had a schoolmate. He went to Nassau after he graduated from I went to Catholic High, grandmama Catholic High, and they went to Nassau. They moved to Nassau, and they lived, just a rugged life, a street life. And he came down with AIDS. He moved back. He came back home to grandmama to die. And that weekend, I came from school and I found him, and I took him to church with me, and I preached, and because I was trying to witness to him, and I was just so excited to see him after almost 30 years. I haven't seen him, and didn't know that he had cancer. He had AIDS, and I took him to church with me. Then Monday morning, his sister called me and said he's in the hospital with AIDS, dying with AIDS. And I went there to the hospital. All I could do was pray for him, read the scripture and the promises, because I couldn't do anything because they had the tube, everything hooked up on him, the oxygen tank. I just couldn't do it. I wanted to put that down his mouth. So if I get it down his hip, I would have put it there. I'm sorry, but I just couldn't do it. But I want him to get it so bad. If he can get a ball in him, I think he would have turned around, because people that took it, right, they were healed from AIDS. AIDS can be cured. Remember, God said, I, the Lord, that healeth you. He can heal any disease. There's not one disease that cannot be cured. Okay? If we believe that, then we don't believe in God. Because God is the one. Remember I said earlier, God is the one that does the healing. If he's the one who created us, and you know how to fix it, when we mess it up, he can fix it. Okay?
Good evening, and very nice discussion going on. Thank you for sharing with us. Our Bahamas is dying with high blood pressure,
Okay.
diabetes, cancer, and a lot of other stuff. How do we convince the Bahamian populace that all natural is the way to go?
Wow.
That's a good question. Wow.
That's a very good question. And you know, it all starts with education. Educate, educate, educate. We now have to really get this generation, because you know, our forefathers didn't eat like this. They eat from the earth, they eat from the soil. But since this fast food came, fast life, fast everything, we paid for it. The Bohemians died because of this fast food. You know, the Bohemians died because of the drugs that was given to us. I'm sad to say, by our government. Think about vodka and alcohol. They are licensed for you to drink it. They have broken so many families, taken so many families apart, but we still give the license through our what? Our government. Well, all these drugs, another thing, when first Bohemians get their drugs from England and Canada. Remember that? It wasn't as poison. Where do we get it now from? America and China. I want you guys to go and Google this. Bear aspirin and AIDS. AIDS came to the Bahamas through bear aspirin. Go and Google it. It says the company that made bear aspirin, AIDS virus was in it. So the FDA ejected it. That was a lot of money. So guess what they did? They sent it to Africa and the islands. It's right on the news. They sent it to Africa. Where's AIDS very high? And where's a lot of black people? And where else? In the islands. I want you to go and Google that. Bear aspirin and AIDS. You know, I wish I had time. I would have shown you the video clip on that, but I don't have the time. But AIDS, I mean, it's right. It was on Nightline. It was on Nightline. And have you ever taken bear aspirin? You have? I need to get you my colloidal silver. Just kidding. That's correct. I see some questions. But it's true education. And we must get our young people. We must get our young people. I was coming on the cruise ship. All these Bohemians they had me in the corner, questioning me to death. And they had their children. Man, them children asking me all kind of questions. I answer everyone. Why? You have to get our young people. Because if not, we're going to lose the generation. I saw a question. A hand?
I just want you to touch a little bit on diabetes.
Okay. You know what? I was going to talk about diabetes. But you know what diabetes meaning? Repeat after me. My diet is beating me. That's what it is. Your diet is beating you. But let's look at some things. You know, diabetes stem back from our diet. Okay? Back to our diet. We eat too much refined foods. Okay? Like I said, we're eating a lot of cooked foods. And now you love fresh foods. And you ever had bitter herbs? Like kale, the greens, like mustard greens. Is it kind of bitter? The best thing for your kidneys is mustard green, kills, anything bitter. You ever hear of bitter melon? That's what I use to reverse diabetes. Yes, it's the bitters are very high in calcium magnesium, very high. So it reverses diabetes. Now I'm gonna tell you something simple you can use. This is what I've been using. You know hibiscus leaves or the mango leaves? Just blend that down, right? Make it thick, like thick, but also a little watery, but thick. Put in the refrigerator. Take a tablespoon every morning, heat with warm water, and put that in there and drink it on an empty stomach for 10 days. And come back and tell me, check your diabetes out. Can you find that around here? Yes. Now, those of you who like to travel, I use bitter melon powder, and I've used golden seal root powder. That's what I use. Golden seal root powder. Now, if you have a family member who on drugs, right, and they want to come off for drugs, two things I recommend. I recommend them using this. This take you off of drugs. My neighbor with drugs uses, and we give them some to take. He said, Mr. Newman, I felt something crawling through my head. He said, I saw it crawling. So guess what he did? He went and get all his drug users, line up my door, because they won't pass the test. Because if you use drugs in America and you were caught, they test you often. They will test you. So he bought all his friends, and that's why I give them. I give them this. Just remember now, we designed this to do what? To cleanse all of your what? All the major organs. Don't forget that. Yes. So I use the bitter melon is very good for the liver and the pancreas. Research have shown now that diabetes is caused because of a backed up liver. Okay? Your liver is the filtering system. All right? Is the filtering system. So if you cleanse that liver, the pancreas is going to start to work properly, producing those insulin. Well, then, remember, the purpose of insulin is to break down fats. Okay? The humans cook with all kind of fat. Because I used to tell my friends, you could dive conch in their peas and rice. All that fat to the bottom. Y'all remember that, right? Y'all ever see it? Look, you can dive conch in there. That's why I used to tell them. It's too much fat. That is destroying not the liver only, but the pancreas. Because the pancreas have to overwork trying to produce insulin to break down the fats. Okay? So I usually try to work on the liver first. Once you get the liver going, right, then you get the pancreas going, then the kidneys is going to function, correct? So, like I said, I use hibiscus. I just blend it down with some water. I blend it or juice it. And then I put it in the refrigerator, and I use a tablespoon of that with some, warm water because it's cold. You don't want to put cold thing first thing in the morning in your body. You want to never do that, okay? And separate. I mean, you can do it together, but I do them separately. Again, remember chemicals, makeup, so I do them separately. But you can do the bitter melon and the golden seal together. Yes, bitter melon and golden seal. Actually, I was going to bring some, but I'll just give it away. And golden seal is very expensive, but it's very good. And you don't need a whole lot of it because it will clear up any kind of, even the drugs that you use from your physician, it will clear that up out of your body. It's very powerful, but it's very good it heals and repair the kidney. And while we're talking about kidney, if you know anyone who's on dialysis and the kidney start functioning, there's something called chaga mushrooms. C-H-A-G-A. Let me make sure I get the spelling correct. I wrote it down here. Yes, C-H-A-G-A, chaga mushroom. My sister-in-law, she was on dialysis. My wife and I we took vacation to go work with her. Within 2 weeks, we had her kidney responding again. She was urine and everything. So we had the kidneys responding again. But we left, but she didn't continue with the program. So no, that's not the problem. She went to her doctor and tell her doctor, look, doc, I am urine, I'm peeing. The doctor's like, what? All they see is what? Money. That's all they see is money. And she had a good insurance. She used to work for the government. She had good insurance. Christians, we need assurance more than good insurance, okay? All right? But so she went back to the doctor, and the doctor messed up her kidney again. And the next time my wife came to visit her, she was dying. She was in the hospital for 5 weeks, couldn't get out. My wife said, honey, I gotta go. My sister died. I sent her for 2 weeks. Checked her out in 1 day. Now, I can't give you all the ingredients. I'm gonna tell you one of the ingredients, okay? She used. Do you know sharp needle? Man, that thing is so powerful. You know how powerful it is? It checked my sister-in-law in 1 day. In 1 day, man. So she left. She said, you got to follow the vegan diet. You got to follow it. She went back. She said, honey, I can't stay again. My sister-in-law went back in the hospital. She went there, and 1 day, they checked out the hospital again because she had her own private. She had good insurance. She had very good insurance. She had a private room. God fixed that mess. My wife can get in there. But she went in there, give her another concoction of that drink. Checked out in 1 day. So she lived over a year. One day she said, I have to go to the hospital. They want to cut off one of her toes. I told her, don't do that. Do not go there. She didn't listen. She went to the hospital and they did something to her and stopped her heart and she died. Stopped her heart. That's correct. And then she died. But she lived over almost, yes, at least she lived a year from the treatment my wife gave to her. Now, if she'd have continued just doing what my wife said, she could live longer. But she believed in her doctor. Listen here. Those 8 doctors, tonight, they are your doctors. What are those 8 doctors? Who remember them? What is it called? New Start. They are your doctors tonight. What your doctor is called tonight? What's your old doctor called? Dr. who? Dr. Ryan? Dr. what? Well, listen here. You divorce him tonight, okay, or her. Your new doctor tonight is called New Start. What N is for what? Nutrition. Make sure you're eating fruits, grains, nuts, and vegetables. Go back to the plant world. If you ever get sick with cancer, go back to the plant. People are being healed every day from cancer. The good news, my mother was healed from cancer, okay? But we put her on plant-based diet. We did we use other things, but we use a plant-based diet. Make sure every day you're exercising. You have to exercise. Bohemians are overweight. They even make a song. She fat, she fat. Huh? Did you get money for that? Come on, man. Excellent for prostate cancer and the seeds. Excellent for parasites and digestion. You eat them? Sometimes eat the seeds. It will kill. Listen here. When I was in High Rock and we used to pass them worm, go eat some papaya seeds. It will pass all them worms out of you. And garlic. Very good for worms. But I use papaya and its seeds. Now, is more effective if you dry them, grind them down, and you could take in some water. It kills more parasites. Remember now, some things only kill some parasites, not all of them. But I find that the dry papaya seeds kill most all parasites in the body. Okay? You want to evict those parasites. I see a question over here.
You mentioned oats are bad for you because it's mucus.
Yeah.
What about steel oats?
Steam?
Steel oats.
Steel-
STEL.
Okay. Like I said, you can eat some oats, but you have to eat it very small and eat more fruits and vegetables. It's not bad, but the best form in oats is the granola. Do you know how to make your granolas? You buy it in the store, right? Yeah, but I'm saying in that form, it removes all the mucus when you it's baked. That's correct. It's baked. But when it's just and raw is not too bad. No, raw is good. But when you cook it, then it takes on that mucus form, even in the body. Yes, it takes on that form in the body. Yes. Oh, why this my thought come to me? The wheat that we use, the wheat flour that we use, is not true wheat. The true wheat is called what? Anybody know? Boga? No, that's different. Spelt. You write that down. That's very important. It's very expensive, but it's very good for you. The wheat that we use is genetically modified. Okay? That causes more problem and cancer, especially in females. That's correct. Health store carry it, but online, I bought some and it was gone so fast because it's very good for diabetes. Inflammation? Yes. Like a lot of mucus. You ever see guys, all that mucus that spit out? That's inflammation. But anyway, she had a question, then I could talk about it. Go ahead.
Okay, with about a month ago, right? I was having a lot of pains in my body. So I made some adjustments. I started using your colon,
Cleanse?
the thing again in the jar.
Uh-huh.
But what I started doing every morning, I drink like 40 to 50 ounces of water
Okay.
before I eat anything. But what I started doing, and my thing is with the oats, I didn't cook oats.
Okay.
I boiled the hot water
Okay.
and then I cut it
Hello?
off, put it in a bowl, put the oats in there, pour it over, and I cover it so the steam will cook it instead of cooking it long. And if I had food or whatever, that's how I've been doing it. I began to feel better.
Okay.
And some other stuff I'm taking from him. But the thing is it still good to?
Yeah, I like
eat
that
the
way
oats like
because
that?
that's not the way she's talking about how she cooked it. She boiled the water first and put it over it. So it's not as, that's correct. That's correct. Yes.
A pleasant good night. First, I want to tell my cousin, Brennell, first cousin, I always tell him this in private, how proud I am of him. And we grew up like brothers and not first cousins. Of course, I learned a lot from Brennell because we stay in contact. But one of the things that I want you to touch on, and just it's very simple, is that white sugar. And let them know that, because you told me this, and it worked for me. Don't use the lime, but the lemon.
Lemon, yes. Yes.
So I want you to explain that to them. And I've been taking a lot of the stuff that I was getting from him too, and I went to get PSA, and that was like 5. That ain't bad. That's pretty, But when I went back, it was like 1.
That's good. That's where you want to go.
So
That's
thank you very much.
Yes,
I'm proud of you.
Did you get pumpkin seed?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. Actually,
God bless you.
I have a lot of friends who only had a lot of girls, and I told them get them some pumpkin seed, and they have boys. Yes, pumpkin seed is high in zinc, high in testosterone, and they help you make some what? Some boys. Yeah. He said, okay, sugar.
Yes.
They're brown sugar. Let's talk about the good, then I'm talking about the bad. I use sugar to, if you have boils, open sores, I use sugar to expel the toxins. I pack that sore with white sugar. I think I use it in the hospital too. If nurses, they use that in the hospital. Okay, but I use the white sugar to expel toxins from those sores. And you'll know when you don't need no more sugar, because once the sugar is pulling the toxin, it turns wet, it gets wet. Once it stops getting wet, all those toxins are gone. Now, once those toxins are gone, now you need to cover that up or let it heal. I use something called comfrey. And did I bring a comfrey? Man, I use comfrey. If someone cut off their foot or finger right now, you put the comfrey on there, it will knit it back together almost immediately. Comfrey knit broken bones, ligaments, tissue back together. You ever hear of comfrey? It's an herb. And I always travel with it, but I didn't bring it tonight. But comfrey, it lit, so I would put that on there, comfrey, myrrh, and I also use golden seal. But white sugar on the inside now, remember, it's a drawing agent. So when we put it in our bodies, it draws all the nutrients out of our bodies. So you ever have an uncontrollable child? Huh? You want to control them? You beating the child? You need to beat yourself if you're giving them sugar. Because sugar is taking all of the nutrients. And the reason why they're carrying on so because they're lacking what? Nutrients. Okay? Brown sugar is better than white sugar. Why? Because they put blackstrap molasses in brown sugar. You know that, right? Yeah, they put blackstrap molasses. Brown sugar is really white sugar with blackstrap molasses on it. Say it again. Yeah, they put blackstrap molasses in it. Okay? So if you're going to use some sugar, you can use raw sugar. Okay, raw sugar. And my wife, I give my aunt a taste of it this evening. I wish I could bring it again. My wife makes her own sweetener. And the base of our sweetener is called stevia. Have anybody heard of stevia? Yes. Stevia is very good for diabetics. Okay? It doesn't cause your blood sugar to spike up or down. It keeps it level. So her base for her sweetener is the stevia. It's very good. I think you find it in the store now around here. Yes, we use stevia. Okay? So brown sugar is not as bad as white sugar, but it's still bad. You can use the blackstrap molasses. Blackstrap molasses is very good for healing. Actually, young ladies that have their cycle, after that cycle, you should take blackstrap molasses to replenish or put back your iron. It's very high in iron. Okay? So you should use blackstrap molasses. Blackstrap molasses is in Grand Bahama. Okay? So you can find it here. All right. Now, question. Moringa is so good, man. Man, I just give my mother some before I left. I bought the organic moringa, and I put, man, she was so energized. They had it on sale because moringa is very expensive in the United States. But moringa is very good. You know, it's good for cancer too. But it gives the body a lot of energy. So if you have some, please give me some so I can take it back. You have a tree? You get plenty? I need to take it back. Okay. Yes, moringa is very good. You know what? Behemoths have the healing. I don't have to bring nothing here to help for healing. Okay, I don't have to bring anything in, you know. I don't have to. The problem with the behemoth is the food. The food is killing us. We eat from two things, taste and tradition. My mama cook this way. My mama eat this way. Listen here. My daddy eat this way, right? Boy, our food is the best. Yeah? More people in the Bahamas are dying from fork, knife, and what? And spoons.
It's cornmeal healthy, cornmeal.
Cornmeal, the yellow grits. Yellow grits are very good. Now, one thing I want to tell us about yellow grits, we need to start to get the organic ones. Remember, corn is modified, and it's causing a lot of health problems. Because guess what? They use corn in most everything. They even use corn in products. Okay? So it's causing a lot of health issues. So genetically modified is really causing a lot of damage. And I hope the government of the Bahamas didn't allow that to come, you know, because they usually come through the farmers, you know, and once that come, what it does, it really destroys. They have a chemical in it that destroys our seeds, our local seeds. And what it does, once you put that in the earth, you need to use their seeds to put there to cause the food to grow. That's correct. They also destroy the soil. So we have to be very careful with genetically modified stuff. Any more questions? Go ahead.
What can you use? What can you use to help with balancing the hormones?
Red clover. Excellent. I mean, my brother is here.
I need some of that.
When his wife called me about balancing the hormone, I told her to get on red clover immediately. It balanced the hormone. Actually, I told my sister she needs to get on this right now. Okay? Because balancing the hormone is very important. Because, you know, if your hormone is not balanced, it also causes breast problem. You know that, right? It causes breast cancer. Yes.
I heard you talk about the castor oil and putting it on the stomach for the
Tumor.
fibroids
That's
or
correct.
the tumor.
That's right.
That's also with endometriosis.
Yes, that's correct. I have that there too.
Okay.
That's correct. It look for any, like I said, look for tumors. If your stomach too, east, west. I'm not gonna say big no more. If it's going too far north or whatever, south, we cut the direction. It's very good for that. Yes, and it's very good for the digestion too.
Okay, what about after surgery and you have like um, keloids or the skin not
Scar.
healing properly, scar tissue, or
Yes.
what would help with something like that?
Again, I would go back to, I would deal with something not just external, but I would eat a lot of fresh foods like the berries. You understand that? I would start eating more like a lot of vegetables, different colors. I would go with like when you get peppers. You ever see peppers come with all colors? Come with green, yellow, red, right? Orange. So different color foods. So I would start basically having different colors in my foods. Okay. And I would also clean the blood. I would look at things to clean my blood. Because once you start cleaning the blood, remember, beauty is from the inside out. And if you, I promise you, if you take this product, you won't need makeup. Because guess what? Sometimes we don't just use makeup for beauty. Because we have a lot of holes. You understand that, right? In our skin. Well, just patch the holes. Because now the beauty is going to come from what? From the inside out. Right? That's why I kick them my daughters. I say you don't need makeup. Just clean your colon. And I promise you, your skin will look so, I'm not bragging, but I thank God. Anyone ever seen my wife? You ever seen my wife's skin? Look like a baby. I ain't seen her for 3 weeks, so I be careful what I'm saying. Look like a baby, okay? All right, okay? I mean, because she always tell us, she stressed, keep the inside clean first. So once you do that, you even see scars starting. Now, I'm only gonna talk a little about it. I'm trying to get my wife to come home. But one of the main problem for women is the gut. It's called the good and bad bacteria, or your flora. You ever hear about those things? Yes. So my wife just designed something, and her stomach has gone back to before we had children. So I said, honey, you need to bring it here because I'm saying my people need help. She just designed something for the gut flora. Remember, our long life depends upon our guts. Remember, all disease starts in your gut. We call it colon, but it's in your gut. That's correct. You ever had a pain in your gut? Feel like you're gonna die, right? That's correct. It's in your gut. So when you clean, you have good flora in your gut. That's including cleaning out the bad first now. Okay? Because what happened, we want to put the good things and the bad is still there. We must first clean out first, then put the good thing. You can't put new wine. Okay? We can't do that. So we must clean from the inside out first. So the first thing when you come to my house, first thing my wife's gonna tell you, open your mouth. She ready to clean. She ready to clean. She ready to put you on this, and she ready to put you on her colonic board. You ever hear about colonic boards? Some of you probably heard about it. Yes, colonic board, where you use the bathroom for 1 hour straight. Okay, where waste coming out of you. Actually, this product, I promise you, if you use this product, you're gonna see stuff come on you from you was 5 years old. So I tell Rudy, I say you're gonna see stuff when you come on when you live in High Rock. I say, okay. Remember now, the colon's about, I told my aunt today that colon's about 30, 40 feet long. Y'all know that, right? That's correct. That's a lot of place those wastes are parking in our colon. So we have something called the villi. These are things that absorb our nutrients. Well, when we eat a lot of greasy food, those grease hardens around the colon walls. When you use the bathroom, you should see the shape of your colon. Not little pieces dropping, like raindrop. No. You should see the whole shape of your colon. If you do not see the whole shape of your colon, disease are grooming in your body right now. Okay? Pressure is coming on. Because guess what? The body got to use that, still try to break that down, but it's not moving. Remember, pressure is like high blood pressure is like you have water in a container, but you have a little bit of water and wash all these dishes in there. Can you do that? No, you can't. But if you have a lot of water, can you wash the dishes? Yes. So the blood is pumping very what? Hard, because there's not enough water. Also, water intake. You need at least 8 glasses. Who drink 8 glasses of water today? Who? You drink more? You drink more? How you do? Every day. The body is made up of about 70 to 80% of what? Water, not food. A lot of people eat 3-4 times a day and only drink about 1-2 cups of what? Water. That's why we're sick. We're sick. Do you know what? You want to get cured from your disease? Increase your water. I promise you, your headache will stop. Actually, if you get a headache, drink water. Actually, if you get a serious headache, every 10 minutes you drink water, it will disappear. You don't have to take no pills. Just drink water. Because your body is made of more water than your body's not made up of pills. It's made of what? Water. That's very important. Okay? Water will I know a doctor, they get rid of him. All he was using to cure diseases was just giving his patient what? Water. That's all he was doing. They get rid of him. Because you know what? Ain't no money making when you're drinking water. Right? They're losing money. Just water. That's correct, water. Actually, my mother and I have a little going now with water. I said, Mom, you gotta drink more water. And I think what happened, we like cold water. Cold water crumbs, chills the blood. Okay? Do you know cold water causes heart attack? It hardened the arteries. Okay? I live in Asia for 2 years. You know what they drink? They drink a cup of tea. That's what they drink. They didn't drink no cold water. Man, they give me teas. After I meal, they give me some nice hot cup of teas. Mr. Newman, drink some teas. Right? So drink tea. It's much better than drinking cold water. Another thing is killing us, sodas. Sodas is causing diabetes, have caused diabetes. Not only that, the endo soda cans, all those mercuries, also mercury too. You all know about mercury in the fish, right? Yes. I told Mom several years, Mom came to us about 3 times, and the Lord restored health. She said, Brennell, I'm going to do my best this time. I said, what are you going to eat? I'm only going to eat fish and chicken. If I got to make a song from that, fish and chicken. I said, okay, Mom. I said, Mom, fish have a lot of tumors in it. It has a lot of mercury. Do you know every hospital pipeline goes to the sea? They all knew that? Every hospital pipeline goes to the sea, either to the river or to the sea. When those toxins come from the hospital, where do you think it goes? And who eat it? And who eat the fish? And who eat you? The grave. Okay. The Bible said the grave swallow you up, right? My God, the Bible said that. Swallow you up. Listen here. So she says she can eat fish and chicken. I said, Mommy, it carries tumors. Chicken, back in the 80s when I was in school, I saw the tumors. And my people eat a lot of it. My mother has a large tumor. Okay? Go back to the plant base. I mean, what you gonna eat? You can make your own food. And my wife have this. She said, honey, if they can do it, we can do it too. When we was getting married, we had the first African, we went to a black college. So we had the first African wedding. So my outfit, $600. Hers, gown, thousands of dollars. So she went there, she drew it. She drew out one for my brothers. My brother was in my wedding. My wife made my outfit, hers, theirs. Do y'all still have yours? Everybody. She said, honey, if they can do it, we can do it too. You know what's killing Bahamians? We're following the Americans. We are consumers. Nobody want to do it themselves no more. One thing I'm happy about, last year I was watching Bahamian news. Now Bahamians are making their own products. You saw it, right? I was so happy. I was so encouraged. Guess what? Not only those products, but now we're going to get healthy again. Because once we do it ourselves, we know what's in it. They put these big names that I never seen them in college when I went to college. Okay? But guess what? They're hiding all kinds of stuff in it. Nothing we need to look at. Do you know those vaccination? Do you know they put scorpion parts in them? Snake parts? Do you know why? Because they think you come from what? They believe you made from what? From ape, from animals. So guess what they use? Do you know when they give you drugs, where it's tested on? Animal. So if it work for an animal, it's work for you. For you. But what the Bible says, man's life is in a what? Is in a tree, not in an animal. Most of your drugs are made from animal parts. So guess what? You go into the doctor taking a drug, you believe in evolution. Because you're taking the drug. God already told you the leaves of the trees are for the what? So why are we going to animal to get healed? Another thing, where animals get their food from? From the trees. I had a smart dog. I had grapes. I had a grape tree. Whenever he gets sick, he goes and eat my grapes and get better. He was a smileless in there. I wish I could keep him forever. Now I lost him. He was a Newman. He followed a woman. He's gone. I see a hand over here. He's gone, man.
Good evening, everybody. I have a couple of points. The alkaline water, you said
Yes.
baking soda. How would you prepare, like a teaspoon to what, a cup?
Usually a gallon. I would use to a gallon. I probably use about 5 tablespoons to a gallon.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Again, I would use a whole lemon to a gallon of water.
okay,
Because also remember, lemon also alkaline your water.
yeah.
Mhm.
Also, with the shepherd needle,
Yes.
that is very good. I even, my child had a cut.
Okay.
And my aunt was there. She said, "Go just beat the shepherd
That's
needle
correct.
and pack it, and that closed that cut up like within a minute."
That's correct.
Yeah. So
Wasp bite. I get bit with wasp. I just rubbed it. I put it and it take out the sting. And also cayenne pepper will close the wound. If you get a fresh cut, you put fresh cayenne, it's gonna burn, but it's high in vitamin A. It will close that wound. Same way.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Also, you talk about fish. I love fish.
I know I can see it.
Okay. So I know our fish come from like the ocean.
That's correct.
So with all this other thing you said, I don't think we're going to be affected by that.
Okay. You know what?
'Cause, you know,
When I was in school, I would never eat fish in America. You know why? I said American fish ain't no good, ain't taste good, and the Bahamian fish is the best. Guess what I learned? Do fish go through customs? Tell me now. Is there a wall like our president saying there's a wall? Is fish the Bahamian fish and the American fish, are they immigrants? Fish travel around the world. Around the world.
but I think our fish is still,
I understand. You know what?
I
I understand. I was just like that. What? I won't eat no fish in America. All right. I always come home. I bring my fish with me. So guess what? You know, most people when they travel to America, they're taking fish to other Bahamians, right? Because they that fish, gonna listen here. Fish don't need no passport.
But I have to cut it out complete. I mean, you can eat in moderation, right?
Now I'm gonna tell you right now. My father used to work the Barco, and I was coming over this time, and there's a guy that worked on the jet, on the jetty over there. He said that when that slush, all that slush will come in that water, he said the red snapper, the gray snapper, will come and eat it up. Remember, red snapper love slush. They love garbage. Bahamians love red snapper. Red snapper is full of tumors.
Wow.
Yes, remember now. Taste.
I know the grouper is.
It's sweet in the mouth, but it's bitter in the belly. Some of y'all didn't come in early, but I showed y'all a picture of a tumor, right? That's not, and they're not pretty. Yard chicken. And you know what? You know, our forefathers, their chicken run around, right? Yes, they run around. And they were skinny, being like big woman. So you know, big chicken. All right. But yard chicken is better than chicken that we imported. It is better. Now, don't forget this though. The Bible says when you eat flesh, drain the blood. Every life is in the blood. My grandparents always tell me, you guys gonna be a violent generation. You eat too much meat. She said that. She said, we didn't grow up eating all this meat like you guys. This generation is very violent. They will take a gun and kill you like it's nothing. Okay? Remember now, we getting that from the animals world. The animals are very what? They're violent. And remember now how it's transferred to us through the blood. Now there's something when we was younger, they would take the fish and they would put on the line, Kaya. You remember that? What's it called? Cornfish? Cornfish. That's correct. That was the best way to eat fish. And it looked bad, it looked terrible. Because it looked like flies. I mean, the fly would take it, but that was the best way to eat fish. Because guess what? All the blood was gone. Remember, disease passed through the blood. AIDS passed through the what? Blood. No, they tell you a lie. AIDS also passed by saliva, sweat. You all know that, right? Yes, that's correct. AIDS passed through many ways, but diseases pass through the blood. Don't forget this. 99% of our disease come through the animal kingdom. If you want to reverse, listen here, if you want to reverse the disease in the Bahamas, go back to ground food and stop eating the animals. I promise you, challenge it. Because guess what? We're in trouble. Cancer is killing Bahamians. I'm telling you, we are in serious trouble. Okay? And those who come to me and my wife, they have them with cancer, we take care of all animals and dairy. I have friends who love to eat, their eggs and their cheese. Don't forget, cheese cannot be digested. Cheese is not a food. All the cheese does is sit around that colon wall and build up. Cheese is a culprit for diabetes. My mother used to be one of the best macaroni boys she can bake. And mamas would tell mommy, because our family members would come and take a pound of it back to Freeport, right? She said, you don't come down with diabetes, you don't come with diabetes. You know what? They're dead. And from what? They had diabetes first, then they're dead. Diabetes. Cheese cannot be digested. Cheese is not food. You ever look at the process, how they make cheese? Come on, study, stop eating the food because it tastes good. Look to see what's in it first. I tell my children, don't bring anything to me to have all these long, big words and so many ingredients. I don't want it. All these ingredients, the simpler it is, the better for you. I did electronics and computers when I left home. And I was very good at fixing computers and doing electronics. You know what I learned? You guys, with your flash TV, y'all pay like $5,000, $10,000 for them. Remember back in the day when the flash TV came out? People would spend like $5,000 for a TV, right? And I would go in the back and I would fix that. There was only a small board was in that. But they put all these flash, but it was controlling everything from a small board. And I remember when I fixed up, I always remember simplicity. So I always start with something that's very simple first. So same principle applied to our food. If you want health, keep your food simple. Keep it very simple. When you have a dinner at home, don't have 5, 6 meat. That's not simple. That's a festivity. That's a fair going on. That's a big party going on. I was at a funeral not too long ago. They had 8 different proteins. And I ate nothing because I was crying inside. I was crying inside. They had 8 different proteins. Do you know what caused cancer? High protein diet caused cancer. They had lobster, they had chicken, they had fried fish, they had conch, they had ribs. They had 8 different proteins. Actually, some meat even look like cancer. Y'all ever see cancer? Some of y'all seen it earlier, right? Y'all seen that tumor, right? They didn't look cancerous? Those who've seen it, right? They look cancerous, all right? So we got to get back to our diet. Bahamians have to change. And guess what? Don't get mad at me. I brought a white man to the Bahamas many years ago to teach my people. Do you know what the guy said? He said, what must I do for diabetes? He said, stop eating peas and rice. He said, I'm going to die then. That's what he told me. He said, I would die. That's too much starch. Actually, peas and rice is a complete meal. The beans is your what? The rice is your what? So why you need more protein? That's a complete meal. That's a complete meal. Very simple. Our food is killing us. Mommy told me when she was younger, when people died, they didn't have no tomb. They put a plate that you eat in, and they put a spoon. They give you a spoon and your fork. You remember that? That's what they put at the grave. Huh? That's correct. That's what they put. I told Mommy that's what killing Bahamians. Okay? Now someone had a question. So the fish,
Yeah.
full of tumors.
The next thing, my final one is the boil up.
Okay.
I know when you cook the food, you kill it.
Yes.
I love cabbage.
Okay.
I know carrot you could, eat raw, but my cabbage I got probably I do like coleslaw, but I really love boil up. Well, how do you feel about that? Is that-
Boiling food or just?
Yeah, boiling food, and you also drinking the gravy also.
Oh yes. Remember I
So-
said your nutrients are in the water. Whenever you cook something, your nutrients they are in the water. And boiling foods are better than frying foods. It's much better. Now I like that. I use cabbage. People have ulcer. I use cabbage. I juice it to heal ulcer. Yes, I use cabbage. It's very good for ulcer. But I juice the fresh cabbage. I let them drink it. It's very good for ulcer. Yes, but when we cook our vegetables, please don't kill it. Don't kill it. Let it be crunchy, okay? Because you still need the nutrients. Remember we talked about cooked foods, right? Woman, you want to live longer? Stop cooking too much for your husband. Cooked foods are killing your husband. Okay.
What is good for cataract and the eye?
Good. I told a cousin of my own not to give cooking for her husband. So she showed me a picture of what she does. She juice. I said, man, that's healthy. And she juice for her husband. And I mean, he's so smart. He's very smart because he's juicing. But that cooked food is not only killing you, it's killing your husband. Too much cooked food, killing. Now there's a question here. He asks, and she asks, what good for cataract? Cataract. All right. This is what I use for cataract. I had an uncle who was blind for 10 years, couldn't see for 10 years. And he had cataract. Cataract is like a scale over your eyes. So this is what I use, and I find it to be very successful. I use, I get 2 jars, okay? You know them squeeze, those jars you can, droppers, they call it droppers. So anyway, I put the lemon in one, and I put the honey, raw honey in the other. I squeeze the lemon in the morning in the eye, and I put honey in the evening. I use lemon and honey. Lemon put nutrients back in the eyes. I had a friend a couple years ago call me. She said, Brennell, I can't see nothing. What should I do? I said, put lemon in your eye. She said, it's going to burn. I said, would you rather burn or blind? She said, I'm going to try for 5 days. She said, okay, try 5 days. She went to the eye doctor. She said, Brennell, I could see clear. You have to read those letters. She said, I read everything. So when I tried the other one, I couldn't see nothing. She said, I stopped to the store. I got a lemon. I put it right in my eyes. I put lemon in the morning, and I put honey in the evening. I did that to my uncle. After 5 days, he came out of his room looking, say he saw a light. That's all I use. I use lemon in the morning. I use honey. Lemon put nutrients into your eyes. Honey soften the cataract, and it falls off. Very simple, right? Very simple. How much it costs to do that? What the operation is expensive. Lemon and more. Remember, your food is your what? Your medicine, and not medicine your food. Okay? So that answers his question and your question. Yes. Too much greasy food. Right? Remember greasy food? Remember I told you, too much grease is clogging your whole organs. You know, I just told my sister, I told her that I said, I appreciate you cooking for us, but you're cooking with too much oil. I ready to go back to my wife. Too much oil. I said, it's too much oil. Okay? That's caused that. There's something I used for it. We can use fresh aloe. Okay? You can use aloe, but I use aloe. I use a lot of aloe in it. But what I do, I go on a cleanse. I go on a fast, and I use the distilled water. I find distilled water is very good for that. The same brand right here is very good for it. Yes. This is the purest form of water. This is the purest form of water, distilled water. Now, I do use alkaline water, but I find it's better. When I deal with diseases, I find it's better to deal with diseases than alkaline water. Okay? And remember, the Bible says distilled water is rain water. Or you can also, I have a distiller also, but I like the rainwater. Okay? And there's something called mastic gum. It's called what? Remember? Mastic gum. Mastic gum heals up your whole digestive system. Okay? It's called mastic, M-A-S-T-I-C, gum. It heals up your whole digestive system. You can find it over here. I'm gonna see if I can find a tree here. Yeah, mastic gum heals up your digestive system. I use that. Like if you get like H. pylori, you H. pylori? Yes, I use mastic gum because that's part of the digestive system that has been messed up from that's a virus, bacteria. So I just use the mastic gum and it heals it up. Yes. I see a.
How do you degrease your colon?
How do you degrease it?
Yes.
You mean to clean it out?
Yeah.
Lots of water. Okay. Broccoli is a broom. It sweeps the colon. Okay. Use your raw vegetables for it. But also I use different fiber. Okay, different fibers to sweep the colon. Aloe is very good for the colon. Aloe is very good. But what I would do first, I would increase my water intake. And I would eat more roughage, meaning I would eat my salad first. Oh, you should always eat your salad first. Remember, your salads or your raw foods has your enzymes. Your enzymes goes into the body and sets up to break down the cooked foods. So I would increase my roughage, meaning raw foods. It's very good for the colon. Remember, when I went to college, my roommates look at me like I'm crazy. Bohemian like a mountain of rice. You ever see that? Man, he said, man. My other room, he said, everybody come look at Brennell's building a mountain. In be like our plate full of rice, right? That's a mountain. He said, you could feed a whole army with that. But all that starch and all that cooked food, that stays around our colon wall. So we need more roughage, like your broccoli, your carrots, your cauliflower. Doesn't it look like a broom? Broccoli doesn't look like a broom? Cauliflower doesn't look like a broom? It sweeps the colon. Yes. And it's some of the best cancer fighters. Actually, I had a family member who had cancer in Iraq. He was diagnosed with cancer for years, but he eat broccoli every day. And he didn't die from the cancer. He died from something else. That's right. He eat broccoli every day. So that broccoli, cauliflower, they're very good cancer fighters. And those little things look like little cabbage. Brussels sprout, asparagus. Y'all, anybody heard the research on asparagus? It look for cancer in your body. Remember now, this don't cost you much money. Because, I had some friends in Grand Bahama who were millionaires. And, I grew up with them. And I came and shared the same thing with them. They said, who was this little boy? I'm not listening to them. They spent over $1 million in Miami, Florida on their cancer. And I told them, I stayed at their home till 2 o'clock. I wrote out a plan, a diet plan for them to follow. Actually, we go to the house, it's still in their refrigerator. Actually, I talked to my friends, their children. If you go to my house, it's still there. I stayed up till 2 o'clock with them. My wife thought I was keeping sweetheart because she couldn't find me, right? I told them what to do. I said, listen, you're not healed. Within 3-4 months, you know where they were? They were gone. Spent over $1 million. Do you know the hospitals in Florida love Bahamians, especially if you have good insurance? They love you. And most of us, when we come back, we go straight to the grave. And they take over $1 million. That's a lot of money. I got to get many PhD with that. I could have built me a lifestyle center and y'all could be coming to me for some help. Okay? Another thing, 2 years ago, my wife and I said we were going to sacrifice to come back home and help our people. So we needed $20,000. We asked for $20,000. The person was very rich and they refused to give it to us. And their child died from the same thing that we could have helped them with, was cancer. You know, we was going to help them first, right? And they refused to give it to us. We was going to come and set up and bring all of our equipment that mom stayed with us for 2.5 months. Doctors say you're not cured from cancer till after how many years? In America, they say 5. The doctor announced yesterday that the cancer is gone within less than 3 months. Less than 3 months. That's correct. Less than 3 months. I mean, that's the blessing of the Lord. So we try to come home to do it. We came home. We could find $20,000 because we need to bring our equipment. We need to bring all the different things that we use. And they had the money. And if I call a person, y'all know they're probably more than me. They're probably billionaires. They refused. And because they refused, the following year, the child died from cancer, which we could have helped them. You know, we could have helped them. I mean, if mom who came by my house door knocking death door, asked my aunt. She said, my mother didn't come. Ask the pastor. I've been coming home to a funeral to bury my mother. She always come to me when the emergency. Remember her foot? They was going to go ready to amputate her foot. She came there. She spent 5 months. The foot healed. They was getting ready to cut it off. She came there with diabetes. I mean, it was so bad. She lost 30 pounds. She came back. She could model for y'all. She could have won the pageant. 30 pounds she lost. And she only stayed there what? She stayed a couple of weeks, right? The first time she came. Stayed a couple of weeks. Because the first thing you're going to deal with is what? Is that gut. I want clean High Rock and Freeport out of it. That's the first thing I want to do. And I know what's in it because I know what's in me. Actually, my wife told me, oh, nothing I want to share with you guys. Gallstones. You want to know how to get rid of them? Or you want them to live in you? We all have them. Have you ever eaten chicken? Have you ever eaten pork chop? You're full of stones. My wife told me that. I said, honey, I've been a vegan for all these years. I have no stones. She said, honey, you're full of them. I was like, you know, if somebody like run their mouth, you're full of it. She said, honey, you're full of them. So guess what I did? I've been on a 3-day cleansing fast. And don't forget, you could try it. It's very simple. I'm going to tell you 2 things you can do. This one and the other one. Remember, you could take that same castor oil and put it on a, you warm it up and you put it on a cloth and put it on your kidneys. It breaks up kidney stones and melt them. You could do the same thing on your bladder. Now, this is what I did. I get a gallon of organic apple juice and I get 16 extra virgin oil, 16 ounces of it. And I get 30 ounces of fresh squeezed lemons, not lime. Now. Oh, someone asked the difference between lemon and lime. Lemon is alkaline on the inside, but it's acid on the outside. Lime is alkaline on the outside, but it's acid on the inside. All right? So that's your lemon juice just gone, right? All right, so what I did, the first night, like this, I start tonight. I take this cleanse. I take the cleanse tonight, okay? Tomorrow, I only drink apple juice. Remember I told you apple juice does what? You remember earlier? What apple juice does? It breaks up stone. It melts gallstones, okay? So I drink only organic apple juice. Now, if you're feeling a little weak, eat the apple also. You can do that. And water. Tomorrow night, I take another cleanse. Then the next day, I only drink apple juice and I could eat an apple. On the third day, I have 24 hours to take down. I have 16 ounces of extra virgin oil, olive oil, and I have 30 ounces of fresh squeezed lemons. I get a cup and I have them two separate, and I put some in a cup. I have one cup and I put some of the lemon juice, and I put some of the olive oil in it, and I drink it. Now, you know, oil will make you want to what? Throw up. So that's why you need extra lemon. Lemon cuts fat. Don't forget, lemon cuts grease. So I put that and I drink that down. Then I would take my leg, I would take it, pull it up, then turn on the side, pull it up. Now you have in your that oil is going to start shooting, cause that bile to shoot. And when that bile begins to shoot, it also shoots out those stones. Now I'm telling you right now, when those stones are coming, you will feel sick as a dog. But I promise you, once those stones, and the last night, I would take that cleanse. And then I would go in the toilet bowl, I would put a cloth around it to catch my stones. And I promise you, I passed so many stones. My wife said, I told you you're full of them. And I promise you, if you do that, you will feel 18 again. You want to feel 18? That's the age I always want to stay at. I'm going to be 55 this year, okay? That's correct. And I always want to stay 18. You know why? I could dunk on your head. Back then. I always want to stay 18. I'm going to be 55. You will feel 18 again. I still do it. So I still play with my 13-year-old. And you always complaining, that's why you have me why you so old. They feel like I'm old. But I said, I still could beat you, though. But if you follow God's plan, you will be 30 years younger. You will be 30 years younger than you are. If you follow, remember those laws of health I taught you tonight? You will look and also feel and also be able to do things at the 30 years old. I still run whole court basketball with my young child. He's 13 years old. I run with him. I run with the 18, and then we have the 35 and older. That's me in your category. Because I ain't in the 50s. I'm not in the 50s, man. I always sing this song, never grow old. That's my favorite song. Yes. So remember, gallstones, everyone have gallstones. You ever feel tired and weak? You have gallstones. My roommate was a surgical, what do you call them? They work with the surgeons in America, scrub tech. He would bring the big stones home for me, man. Big gallstones, and they were black. Oh, and I would cut them open. I think I was a scientist. I'm cutting them thing open, and all you see is macaroni and what? I'm trying to turn you off from that food, okay? Because it's not food. Remember, cheese is not what? It's not a food. It cannot be digested. And Bohemians love America love cheese. I mean, they make it look so pretty. You ever see it look sticky? That's your arteries being clogged up. That's correct. That's your arteries being clogged up. Okay? My wife just sent me a text to pray for one of our friends. They put an stem in her. Love cheese. You want to melt it? You want to know how to melt cheese? Or you want to stick with this cheese? You want to melt it? When you see it again, run from it. Run from it. Okay? But now you can make, next time I come, I hope my wife can come with us. She'll show you how to make your cheese. She can make all the different types of cheese. Like I said, if somebody make it, can you do it? You can do it yourself. And you know what's in it. You know what's in it. Okay? So we got to change the way we eat, but it first starts with how we think. My mother passed she passed that tumor when she was thankful. I'll never forget that morning. I said, Mom, stop saying, you know, Bohemian term, when they feel pain, guess what they say? Anybody know what Bohemian say? When they feel pain. No, what they say? Let me tell you what Bohemian say. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. I said, show me that in the Bible. The Bible saying all things give what? Give thanks. I reminded him, he used to be in the Baptist church in High Rock. Everything that have breath, say what? Praise the Lord. Everything I have breath, say what? Praise the Lord. I say, praise the Lord. And when that start happening, she start getting better. I'll never forget that morning. I said, Mom, say thank you, Lord. And she won't say, I said, thank you, Lord. She said, thank you, Lord. And I promise, right after Mom saying to her, she said, Brennell. I said, what happened, Mom? He said, something coming. Mom passed several tumors that morning just from saying, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Do you know if you want to be healed faster than herbs, start thanking the Lord. I promise you, God inhabited praises of his people. Okay, when you start praising the Lord and thanking him. Yesterday, a lady rebuked my mother. She was paralyzed. Big old lady, man, at the clinic. Her leg, one of her legs this side, and the other one. She said, my other brother left. We give her a ride home. She said, people look at me, they don't know where I came from. She said, my children have to take one leg and throw it on the bed. The other one, throw it on the bed. She was so big, paralyzed. She said, but one day, I made up my mind and said, I'm going to say, thank you, Lord, for everything. Now she's walking. Thank you, Lord. And the more we thank God, I promise you, not only for healing, I don't care what difficulty you have. Financial, you start thanking the Lord. See how fast it's going to go. God going to solve the problem. Just say, thank you, Lord. We need to say, thank you, Lord, more than anything else. God loves when his people say thank you. He loves praises. And I tell you what, I love to praise God. We all have trouble. You know what? Trouble is a lot of every man. Guess what? If you don't have trouble, you're dead. Every time you get up in the morning, the devil already planned trouble for you. Remember, he can't wake you up. Only God can wake us up. But when you wake up in the morning, the devil have trouble right there for you. But guess what? God is my refuge. God is my strength, right? And he said, vengeance is mine. That's what he said. So God fight my battle. So there's a song I love to sing every morning to my mother. I'm going to try to sing it just a little bit. I sing it. I'm going to try to, Kaya. Now, I tell Kathy, if you had stroke, I tell Kathy, I give this remedy to Kathy. I said, Kathy, if you want to walk and get normal again, start listening to classical music. If anybody have stroke, you want them to get better, tell them listen to classical music every day. I said, now, I'm sorry, Kathy, but you can't listen to Kaya much no more. I said, listen to classical music. Do you know what classical music does? It causes your brain, all parts of your brain, to start communicating. Everything. My daughter is a master pianist, Pastor. Anybody know that? Anybody ever seen her play? My daughter is a master pianist. And so when I feel down, I said, play me some classical music. She just make that piano talk. She plays the piano and the organ. And she also plays the violin. So I said, like David, I want you to play that sweet old music for me. And she just played it. So I said, she like Papa. Papa was, that's my aunt over there. And my grandfather was a musician. So it's in the gene. So I told them they're from High Rock. I don't care where they were born, they're from High Rock. That's why I told them they're from High Rock. But classical music is very good for anyone that has the stroke. If you had a stroke, let them listen to classical music every day, and it will reverse it. I had a person who had a stroke 11 times. 11 times. And you know what she used to bring her back? Classical music. It works. It works. So now we just can't listen to Rudy, I'm sorry. Oh, that's not classical. That's not classical. Anyway, I'm not going to hold you up any longer, but thank you for having me here. Pray one day that I can come back home. Yeah, I can come back home. My wife loved the Bahamas. You think she's from here? One time she confessed to me, every time we travel home, she would pack all this stuff. I said, honey, you're going to break my back, and I want some children, right? So one day she confessed to me. I said, why are you doing this? She said, I was hoping that you find a job or we can stay here. She didn't want to go back. She wanted to stay in the Bahamas. So she confessed. She said, I love your people, and I want to help your people. Now, my mother told me that don't marry, she told me not to marry an American. She said, they're going to shoot me. You know why, right? Yeah, I ain't going to tell you why, but she told me why. Yeah. So she said, if you married, I want you to marry an island woman. So what I did, I honor that. So I brought my wife to my grandmother to approve or disapprove. So when she came here, I took her to Mama. I said, Mama, what do you think? Mama said, you can marry this one. So she said, what if she said no? I said, I would pack you up in your bag and ship you back. That's right. I was going to listen to my mama, right? Mama, she had wisdom. She may not have a degree, but she had wisdom. Okay? And wisdom is from the Lord. The Bible said wisdom is from the mouth of God. So she had wisdom. So I listened to her, and I tell you, God blessed me with a beautiful wife, and she loved my people. So one day I'm gonna bring her back. She always say, honey, we need to move back to help your people. Your people are dying. Now, my government said they're gonna bring me back one day. Remember they said that? They said they're gonna bring me back. That's been over a year. I ain't hear from them yet. They promised to bring us back. Actually, not only me, I have a team ready to come with us. Yes, I have a team of natural doctors ready to come. Because they're looking at the statistics of the Bahamas, they want to come and help Bahamians. Because guess what? They black, we black. If we die, we brothers and sisters. Do you know they dropped some of the slaves in the Bahamas? I mean, they dropped some in the islands, right? All didn't go to America. Do you know they separate brothers? There were brothers and sisters who were separated. That's why a lot of time Americans come here, we gel so fast because they came to us. And they want to come back and help. They want to come back and help and pray that God would one day do that. And I believe right now that God is getting ready to give the wealth to the righteous. Oh, it's happening. It's happening right now. God is getting ready to give the wealth. It's going to happen this year. Y'all remember this little hierarch boy said that in this church? It's going to happen this year. God's getting ready to do it. Thank you so much for your time. And I pray that what John 3 said, it says, beloved, I wish above all things that you will prosper and be in good health, even as thy what? Soul prosper. That's my blessing and wish for you guys. Thank you.
My wife says she had